Hello and welcome to the Bike Show once again. Later in this very busy episode, we'll be telling you about the biggest motorcycling event of the year. It's coming up next weekend, the South African Bike Festival at Kyalami. You simply must be there. You may get a chance to meet Harry and Don. Well worth the effort. We'll also be taking a look at these, our long-term test fleet. This is the Indian Scout, and it has been busy changing the very nature of Donovan's character. But first, we're going to kick off with the new revamped range of KTM Adventure models, and they've been tested by Donovan and Harry down in Cape Town.
You know the KTM Adventure bikes, the 1050 and 1190? Well, forget them. They are now old hat and out of date. KTM has moved on and wants you to move on also and take up the challenge mounted by the new 1090, 1090R, 1290S Super Adventure and 1290R Super Adventure bikes. What challenge am I talking about? The challenge to discover for yourself that these, according to KTM, are the best adventure bikes on the planet. We saw a few weeks ago how BMW had upped their game to reclaim their top spot at the top of the class. But could it be that, just as they have done it, KTM moves the goalposts once again? It seems that some of the manufacturers are starting to realise that not everyone who wants the adventure bike look needs all the adventure bike off-road ability. To this end, KTM gives you a choice. The S models are more road-orientated, while the R models are the full off-road Monty. So, where do the new models fit into the lineup? Well, deep breath. The 1290 Super Adventure S replaces the current 1190 Adventure, and the Super Adventure R, the 1190 Adventure R. And the Super Adventure T, which we're not really talking about here, replaces the current 1290 Super Adventure. That's a lot of adventures. Right now, I could tell you how amazing they are to ride, but given that this year's Dakar winner was with us, maybe I should defer to him.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had the chance to ride both over the last days. The R today on the more off-road stuff, and the bike's working really good. You know, the 1290 is a bit of an animal. Oh, yeah. It's really strong, and yesterday I had the chance to go on the road with it, which was incredible. You know, in the windy mountain roads and so much torque, and then obviously they got the different modes, and you know, when you've got a passenger on the back, you can just click of a button and it changes all the settings, and no, it's been really cool. And to be honest, I haven't had the chance to ride them much previously, you know, before coming here, and really impressed. Today we were in a lot of technical places full of stones, and yeah, for the size of the bikes compared to what I'm used to, it's working really well.
Argument still rages about 160 brake horsepower being far too much for an adventure bike. This is what you get with the 1290 models. The 1090s get 125 brake horsepower, much more sensible. But to be honest, it doesn't matter how much power there is. No one says you have to use it all the time. You do have something called choice when it comes to opening the throttle. Having said all of that, which bike you choose from the range comes down to more than power output, no matter how good it sounds when bragging to your mates. The base 1090 is a very good road bike indeed. The 1290 adds electronic suspension and quite a lot more harshness from the engine and has less suspension travel than the 1290R. The 1090R is possibly one of the most competent large capacity adventure bikes out there, while the 1290R Super Adventure is just excess in every department. It would be fair to say that a fair amount of skill would be needed to get the best out of this beast.
So there you have it, a bike launch with not one but 4 new bikes. So Don, let's just recap quickly. What's the difference? They've got the standard models, or the S and the R.
Well, it's a 1090 Adventure nothing. It's literally got nothing after its name, I don't know why. But then you got the 1290S.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a roadish sort of model. Is that right?
It's a road adventure bike.
A road sort of adventure bike,
yes.
If that makes sense.
And then the R models are the proper off-road models.
1090R, 1290R, and that's off-road.
Okay, so let's cut to the chase here. Price, because I mean KTM's aren't known for being terribly cheap. So what do we start? Okay, the 1090 Adventure nothing, as you call it.
Yes.
167,999 rand.
That's not nothing, but it's also not that much, is it?
It's not bad, is it?
Not bad, yeah.
Not bad. And then the 1090R, which is the off-road version, you can add another 14,000, so it's 181,000 rand.
Okay, that's less than an Africa Twin. It's £5,000 less than an Africa Twin.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good, is
That's
it? Okay, that's
amazingly
good.
good.
Then we go to the 1290s. The 1290S, which is the road version, 210,000 rand 999, which again is undercutting a lot of the opposition.
Yeah.
And then we have the 1290R, which is the off-road version,
Yeah,
which is
off-road.
216. So only seven grand
The
more
thing
for
is
the
about
full
this, people
off-road.
have to remember, this is base model. And
Yeah.
the chances are you're not going to buy a base model, you're going to end up paying more. But I do know
True.
that a 1290R with everything you need on it, all the protection, all the electronic gadgets, all of that, is the same price as a base GS Adventure.
Do you think it's a comparable bike?
I think so. I mean, they're all both sort of off-roady-ish, adventure-ish, except this is more-ish.
More. Oh my goodness! I can see this descending into farce. Okay, here's the question: of the four models, which one would you have?
The 1290R,
Why?
because it makes the most horsepower.
Oh God! And later on, he's going to contradict himself with this. But anyway,
Yeah, no,
carry
there
on.
is going to be some contradiction. But okay, but the 1290R, it is incredible in many ways. It is, okay, it's not the most horsepower in the adventure range. It's the same as the Multistrada Enduro.
Yeah.
But it does make the most torque, 140 newton meters. It's got the most suspension travel, 220 millimeters, the most ground clearance. It weighs the least. Of all the big adventure bikes, 1100 cc's and above, it is the lightest.
Okay.
And all of that means something. I mean, that's incredible.
Okay. Well,
And
that's
you're going to
interesting.
now say you don't like it.
I don't. I prefer the 1090 versions. I find the 1290 engine just really rough and harsh and clunky. It's obviously a fantastic engine, but I love the smoothness of the 1090s. And of the two 1090s, I would have the 1090 nothing, just the
1090
standard
nothing.
road bike.
You know what? I'm going to, my first contradiction of the day. Don't worry, more to come. We rode the two roadish models, the 1290S and the 1090 nothing. Of those two, I kind of like the 1090 more. And I didn't think that. I sort of thought on the day, okay, 1290 road going, it's lots of power. The 1090 is a lot of fun.
It's still got 125 brake horsepower.
It's still 125 brake horsepower, still a lot. And the
Still a lot.
1290 is, I mean, it sounds good. It's got all the electronic suspension. It's got all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff that you don't like.
I didn't really like the feel of the electronic suspension. I prefer it to be standard. So basically what we're saying is we can't really come to any meaningful conclusion.
No.
So you just go and try them for yourselves.